Down by two.
Down by two.
Down by two. Now they're out of timeouts.
Down by two. 1.3 left.
Down two. Gets a shot off.
Down by two.
Here we go. Another episode of the Down by Two podcast. It's your host, Josh Elijah, with my co-host to my left or my right. I don't even know which way it is. Jesse Birdman McKay. Bra, 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 bra. How you doing,
Hey, yo.
buddy?
What's up? How you
Hey,
doing?
yo. Oh, man. So good. So good. Especially because this episode is brought to you by our boys over at Crier Media. Visit crier.co for all things DB2 and sports-related content. And by Indestructible, our boys over at Indestructible. Visit Indestructible online and use promo code down by two, all one word, lowercase, for 15% off your next order. And from our boys over at Yup Beer, visit
Can't forget about Yup
yupbeer.com. Cannot forget about these boys. Visit yupbeer.com and find a location near you. Now available in beer stores across Ontario and grocery stores as well. I'm currently not drinking a Yup Beer. I'm drinking this.
Me neither,
Yes.
actually.
I'm not. Well, I'm drinking a Basque green tea punch bullshit because I'm on my vodka soda, shit. Trying to
okay.
get back into that keto diet, right? Trying to get back into the keats. Getting some chirps back from the green room over here. Shut the fuck up there. Look, like I've been trying to be good with the keto. I honestly haven't. I went down to the States yesterday to go grab some booze for a certain function coming up, and bro, I had
It's
Taco Bell.
impossible.
I had late night Taco Bell, and it is impossible. But late night Taco Bell in the States fucking sucked, dude. Like Taco Bell. No, man. Taco
I thought
Bell.
you were gonna rate that.
No, man. Taco Bell back up in Canada is way better. If you remember sitting down with our boy Grill Guy, our boy Kev, when we were talking about Fry Supreme, he didn't know what the fuck we were talking about.
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
went to the drive-thru to order it, and they're like, "Sorry, we don't know what that is. We don't have those." And they gave me a side of chips. That's all it comes with, just side of stale chips.
Okay.
And
like literally just grab some fries and put the shit on it, bro. It's not
no,
hard.
but that's just not
I'll
even
give you an extra
thing.
buck.
It's not even a thing, man. I don't even know if it's a thing in the States. Like Fry Supreme, not an option. And
Yeah, but they got the stuff to make it, so just
except
do
for the fries.
they don't serve fries?
I think that's the thing.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe Port Huron's just beat, but like I was pretty fucking confused. So yeah. But either way, we're I was down in the States grabbing some booze because this is going to be our final episode for a couple weeks here, as I'm going to be signing off and getting married to my lady. I'm getting married, doing a damn thing, throwing a ring on the finger, and man, I'm just so excited to be able to have all my friends and family to be able to share this special moment. Obviously, you Bird, fucking love you, my dude. And
Hell yeah. It's gonna be
hell
lit.
yeah. It's gonna be a fucking time. And not for nothing, but our guest on the show here is also gonna be in all the way from Vancouver, all the way down here in Lambton Shores.
DB2 legend, fan favorite of the show. Very excited to have the homie Jimmy Georgie Lambrakos with the new stachio.
Yeah.
My guy, look at that.
I call it the Jimmy.
The Jimmy.
Jimmy on the Zimmy.
Jimmy, bro, you're looking good. I love. So tell me, what was the thought process behind like the style of mustache? Because you have the full coverage, but you got a little bit of overhang by the crevassiers of your mouth there.
Just
a little beginning.
A little bit of extra there.
A little bit of extra for the dusty.
It's
But-
gonna start curling pretty soon.
It's getting there. I started to do the like pull it in, play it in. So I like started here. I started with the chops. Then I got the goatee. then I had the handlebar, and I'm like, should I keep going?
Yeah, oh, buddy. I mean, like, shit gets out of hand when you're on the IR. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you have no idea. I'm just sitting here on my couch, just fucking wondering about what mustache I should give myself. It's like COVID all over again. Yeah.
That's basically it. You're just playing with your facial hair. That's amazing, man. So good to have you on, bro. We've missed you. Last time that we were all together, I was actually wearing this shirt and I was blackout wasted in Punta Cana. So
Right.
Eating spaghetti out of a Yeti.
the spaghetti Yeti. Oh my goodness, dude. We were actually just reminiscing, and like Bird, like you were saying some of the funny shit about our boy Ryan. Like what was it the next day when you guys were out for breakfast?
Oh, Versalotto.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
42069.
Yeah, we're like
as we call him.
just struggling through breakfast, and he walks in, he looks at us, and he's just like, eyes are just completely glazed over. I'm pretty sure he was barefoot. I don't know how he got in there, but he's just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Like an hour before you guys are supposed to catch the bus back to the airport, he's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
He just pale as a ghost too.
Yeah, Dominican just
fuck
spooked
out of
him.
here.
This fucking
Man, that was
Highlander stole his soul.
Yeah,
oh man,
and his
dude,
shoes.
that was just the trip of a lifetime, and I owe it all to you guys for fucking making it just an incredible time. An incredible time on the resort, in the pool, eating sketty, at the blackjack table, at the roulette table, basically anywhere we go is a magical time, and it was just fucking phenomenal. But yeah, man, very excited to have you come home and be a part of things, and we've missed you a lot, and it's gonna be great to get everyone back together.
Yeah, no, I'm actually so excited to get back to the IP. Back to the IP,
Back to
Wash Beach.
Back to the wash, baby.
Yeah, man, and just like feel like Huron, we're so like I've just been swimming in like glacier lakes and cold oceans out here, so it's like
that's another thing too, man. It's been heating
nice.
up over the past month, so the water is super fresh. It's very nice. I'm looking at like the 14-day forecast because that's what I got to do if I'm getting married in just over a week. But it's looking good. It's looking like sunshine. So I mean, bring your trunks because chances are we're gonna end up in the pond.
Yeah, I don't wear trunks. I'm a skinnies for days.
Skinny
You and Ryan Versalotto, both of you, bro. He came over to come try on like his groomsman pants, and he's just, I'm like, oh, come on, try him on. He's like, no, man, I can't. I'm like, why? Just try him on. He's like, because I'm not wearing any underwear underneath. I just got off the job and I'm not wearing any underwear, and I'm just like, put them on, man. It's fine. They're yours. It's
yeah.
Oh man, he's just
they're not loners.
No. Yeah, too funny, man. But let's jump into things here. I know you've been up to date with all the baseball action, all the Blue Jays action and stuff. And Bird and I, we had a chance to kind of debrief a little bit about the Jays after we did our coverage for the Toronto Argonauts, and we got a lot of stuff done there. So make sure you check us out online with all the different coverage that we did with Crier Media and our boy Griff over from YWC Football Talk as well. A lot of great content and interviews that it's coming out that is going to be pretty timeless with no timestamp on that kind of stuff. So make sure you check us out on those channels when it comes to that. We talk about the overall experience and all of our bets hit too. So there's fucking that as well.
They crushed.
They crushed. Like it was insane. We even took the updated odds to boot with the odds that we booked in beforehand, and those also crushed.
They all hit by like halftime. I'm pretty sure.
It was insane. So we were kind of debriefing a little bit, and this is when it comes to the Jays season, and it's been a little bit of up and down throughout the entire season, but even when it leads into post trade deadline as well. Something that happened as of recently is our the beloved Jose Bautista being raised up into the level of excellence over at the Dome, and we were just kind of talking about that because it was pretty fresh when we last saw each other. And Bird, you had an interesting take on that, which kind of reflects where the Blue Jays are kind of at this time. First of all, an amazing ceremony. I'm sure you guys had a chance to watch. George, you were probably touching yourself as they were raising him up. So I mean, like
tears from everywhere, just tears bleeding.
But like, it also means something else a little bit more than celebrating one of the better Blue Jays of our past and of recent future as well. Obviously, it was fantastic for that whole ceremony. But Bird, you had some interesting sentiments. Why don't you kind of share what you were thinking when it came to that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really as much of a take as just like something I noticed online, which was a lot of people seem to be like, I mean, this might just be like pure reminiscing or whatever, but a lot of people were like, oh, I wish that that like short contract they signed him to retire him, he could actually get in the lineup and show these young guys how to do it, and like, you know, how to like play under pressure and get to the postseason and stuff. And I just thought it was kind of interesting. It kind of like gave me the sense of like fans don't really believe in this team, even though like they're pretty awesome, and we just have the toughest division in the league, right? And in any other division, we'd be like first or second. So it was just kind of interesting to think about. And like, you got to remember, like, all those Bautista teams before that, like, they didn't make the playoffs, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just people have this like I said, they're just reminiscing, or if they just have this like false sense of reality with when it comes to that. Because like those teams that went to the postseason, like, they were older and they were specifically built to contend, right? And I feel like this Jays team is just kind of getting there with some of the deadline acquisitions and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just a interesting thing to think about. It's kind of like an open-ended discussion, right? There's really no like right or wrong answer to it, but
Well,
just
no,
thought it
I
was
mean,
interesting.
that's just a lot of what we see online as well, and just a
Yeah.
lot of Jays fans that are chirping this current Jays roster and the makeup of it, and being like, "Yeah, fucking sign them for the rest of the season because we need that kind of offensive power." And you know
Mhm.
what? To a certain extent, like, they're right. I mean, they're not going to do anything like that, and they signed him to the one day for him to be able to retire, but
Yeah, I get the idea behind it. Like,
like it's true. Like I like we have been lacking offensively. George, do you see there being any sort of like, are Jays fans kind of overreacting right now, or do they have a reason to be a little bit pissed off? Because look, that's flat out say it. This Jays team ain't as fun as like that Joey Bats era. It's
even
not as fun
last
as
year.
it was last year, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, as much as you hate the home run jacket or you love the home run jacket, they were just more fun to watch last year. Are we being a little bit too crucial or a little bit too critical when it comes to our thoughts here on the Jays?
I think it's a kind of a constant Toronto thing to be like extraordinarily critical and knee jerky in the space. And I think there's like a big amount of fans that are, you know, kind of more on the fair weather side, more on the reactionary side. And there's so much coverage, right? It's always kind of been that like that. Even with the Leafs, the way that like Toronto sports media just like fuels the
Raptors too.
negativity. And
The
you know what? And
Raptors too recently, like,
and
that's Toronto media.
I'm such a victim of it, and I think more recently I've started to play this like bit of devil's advocate on my own like stupid ignorant Toronto fan, where I'm like, God damn it, they're playing some fucking shit right now, and then you look at their record and you're like, it's actually not that bad. Like, it's actually pretty good. And
well, here's the thing: is like 65, 67, and 55 is their current record right now. I mean, that is good enough for the final wild card spot right now.
Totally. And if you look back at last year, and I actually got curious this week. I was like, okay, where were they at this point last year? They were
about the same, right?
62 and 54. They're actually, they've been progressively just incrementally better than they were last year. Run differential is better too, you know, and I guess you would hope for that because they really seem to focus on like the defensive run saved side of the game versus the
That's usually a pretty good indicator too
of offense. Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, we've been looking at these comments of like Joey Bats, like, oh, we need him now, sort of thing. It's just like a like you said, Jesse, a way to open up the conversation because there are glaring issues when it comes to the Blue Jays offense right now. And I'm going to look first to the big talk when it comes to RISP, and we're talking about runners in scoring position and how many times that we've let all the runners on the bases just be squandered within an inning, right? Too many ducks on the pond. We're actually amongst the worst teams in the league when it comes to runners in scoring position, and it is like it's a major issue, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Like, is this enough reason to be able to panic, George?
You know what's not quantifiable as a stat in sabermetrics and all this bullshit is like clutch. Somebody being
that's what I was
clutch.
Gonna say. There's
and
no
if
clutch
you,
stat.
Yeah, and you look at that like 2015, 2016 teams, like there were so many moments where our stars did some clutch ass shit. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like obviously the Bautista bat flip moment, but like
Oh yeah.
even like in that wild card game with like Baltimore and
Edwin.
Encarnacion
Yep.
against Ubaldo Jimenez hits that
Huge.
fucking jack. Like there's so many moments, and maybe there's still it's to come. You know, maybe our expectations of like the now, we need this to happen now, are slightly unreasonable. But you know, the clock is definitely ticking. But I think there's just this general lack of that big clutch moment. You see Vladdy come in with bases loaded and he pops up into the infield or he strikes out. Like, you know, or we're rolling the dice and we have bases loaded and Kevin Biggio comes up to bat and just gets struck out in 3 pitches.
Look,
Like,
Kevin Biggio had one of the only clutch hits. Your boy Biggio, who I
Yeah.
know you absolutely love, was like he had one of the only clutch hits yesterday, and then the
Yeah.
Jays get blown out 9-4. So it's
Yeah.
I don't know, Bert. Are you concerned at all? Like I'm just trying to gauge where everyone's at here, because I mean, like I look at the numbers here and like runners in scoring position it's atrocious, and like you cannot win ball games like this. Like you don't have to look much further than that series that we had against the Cleveland Guardians, where it was just like we could not put any runs on the board when it mattered. And like then you have to rely on strong play from your bullpen, which has been lights out. Our bullpen has been phenomenal, which has been an area of concern in years past. But now it's just like that is strenuous, although this does kind of condition your bullpen going into the playoffs and as you're making that wild card run. Are you concerned? I don't know. This just seems like a lot of pressure on the bullpen at all times because we just can't produce any runs.
Well, at some point, I look at it like this. It's like, are we just unlucky? And if that's the case, like luck has to turn around eventually. That's how it works, right? But it's so late in the season. It's like, okay, well, maybe this is just the way it is. Like,
that's exactly,
you know what I mean? It's kind of just, I feel like it's just hitting the fan base now. And that's why everyone's so frustrated, because it's like, yeah, the first half of the season, you can be like, oh, the bats are going to turn it around. Like, you know, look at all this sample size of years past, right? Like that's who these guys are. And it's like, man, I don't know if like there's just so much pressure of playing in this division and having to reach the postseason and trading away assets over and over just to get like guys at the deadline. And, you know, that adds a lot of pressure. And maybe these guys just don't have the like mental fortitude to handle that yet, because they're still young. And I mean, I'm talking about like Vladdy mainly and Bo, and I guess Bo has been great, but
yeah,
it's a collective effort at the end of the day, right? So I don't know, maybe that comes with age, like because like I said, those 2015 2016 teams, those guys were older. They'd been around on shit teams their whole careers, and you know, it all kind of came together at the right moment, but they're seasoned, you know? So maybe that's the difference.
I mean, I think you absolutely nailed it when it comes to, you know, the first half of the season. You chalk it up. You're like, oh, yeah, don't worry. The bats are going to come around. The fans, this is it. This is what you're going to get. You're like, you're not going to have an explosion of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Within the last couple of months. Like it's not just going to, I mean, maybe he'll pick it up, but like the George Springer that you see is the George Springer that you're going to get for the rest of the season. Same thing with Dalton Varsho. Okay. Like same thing with Alejandro Kirk. Like these are like what you see is what you get. They're these like Brandon Belt is just not going to get any better. Maybe they might not be any worse. Then I'm not sure.
Right. That's what you hope for. They just don't play worse.
This is the Jays team that you are going to get for the rest of the year. And is it going to be enough? Because like a lot of the big guys that we've been looking at here have been very, you know, underperforming. Like this is not what we want out of Vladdy. Like if you look at his numbers, like down in OPS, down in homers, down in hits, down in almost every category,
up in strikeouts.
Up and straight, like that's the wrong trajectory. Like George, are you scared about Vladdy? And like, is this like he's just been kind of declining a little bit? And like, this is supposed to be your cornerstone player of your organization. Are you concerned at all?
I mean, you know, baseball.
Am I just fucking losing my mind here? I don't know.
Baseball's fucking hard, dude. Like, baseball's a hard game, and you know, I I am concerned. I look at the decline of him, and there's been so much conversation. I was listening to some of our Sportsnet boys as I've been off so much. I've been like just sitting here listening to the radio again, and everyone. The conversation is like Vladdy
listening to the radio growing.
Oh, dude, just like chilling,
dude, just for mend your hair.
But everyone's like, Vladdy is an all-star. He's not an MVP. That is like seems to be the unanimous grab from all of this. Is like, okay, he had a lot of hype. You know, he barrels the ball, he hits it real hard, but you know, consistently, like
he can win a derby.
Yeah, he can win a home run derby.
He
can play some good first base, but he's not. Is he a superstar elite talent?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I
not.
think
I don't know. I'm on the
is
fence.
more than-
I'm honestly on the fence. You know, because I'm thinking about. I was thinking about it hard. If he can do it in baseball, he had that huge year that he kind of like technically got robbed from the MVP. If he can do that, he can do it again. And if you look at his like advanced metrics on like hard hit,
attainable,
and like barrel rate, all that stuff, exit velocity, all that good stuff, that's all like in line with his MVP year. So you want to call it maybe some bad luck, or he's definitely swinging at stuff outside of the zone that he hasn't in the past, which that's the big concern. And I think that goes back to your take there on like Jesse, like that do they have the mental strength as a young core team to shoulder the pressure of what it takes to fucking be an elite championship team and go on a deep run, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, especially like Vladdy, it's the name right now, and he's just not like, sure, he gets on base a lot and he draws a lot of walks and stuff, but man, he's swinging at some absolute garbage. Like it's just he's not showing any plate discipline. He's not showing any maturity when it comes to that as you know, someone who's supposed to be your main go-to hitter. It is just a bit concerning. And you look at some of the other first basemen that are outperforming him this year. Like you look at like Nathaniel Lowe on like the Texas Rangers, Christian Walker, who's a decent player as well, outperforming. And then obvious stuff like Matt Olson, who really is probably the best first baseman in baseball right now. So it's I mean, you have some of the other stuff as well that, you know, you don't really take into account, like his Gold Glove from last year and what have you. You know, like he's got all the makings of being a superstar player, but like he's still figuring it out. And like time's kind of ticking right now, you know, especially with the current makeup of this roster and what you've done, Jesse, like you mentioned, getting rid of all these assets and bringing in players, you know, like Whit Merrifield, which has paid off, which very much has paid off. Whit Merrifield has been one of our bright spots. But then like fill in players like the young, and you know, beefing up our bullpen, like we're ready and we're in a kind of a mind state that we need to win now or at least make it deep in the playoffs. And as of right now, I'm not even sure we're going to make the wild card. Like, do you have confidence that we're going to retain this third spot? Because like I don't see us climbing any higher in the wild card rankings. I definitely don't see us taking the division. And so we're kind of just holding on to that third spot, which, you know, would kind of work out if the season ended today and we faced the Minnesota Twins. That'd be all right. I'd fucking work with that. And that would give us a berth into the second round. Hopefully. I don't know. Twins are playing better baseball now, finally, a little bit. But I don't know. Are you guys worried?
The Mariners
about
are hot,
losing?
man.
The Mariners are fucking hot, man.
I'm nervous. I'm
nervous.
Yeah.
Boston is like, I mean, like they dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball a little bit.
They
but
lost
they're
to Washington
still right
earlier
there.
today, but they're 3 games out. That ain't bad.
Man, and Julio is so hot right now.
Oh yeah.
And it's like he was not hot the whole start to the season. Ty France is flat, and now they're kind of clicking, and the whole lineup is just kind of mixing into that.
Yeah,
and
man.
Like, damn, they're dangerous with pitching already, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you were just down there catching the Jays when they were in Seattle, which is fucking dope. But like the energy there in Old Safeco, or what is it, T-Mobile now? Yeah, dude, it's fucking like when the Mariners were rocking, like that's a scary ass building to play in. Like
it's awesome, and they have a good team. They're great. Their pitching is lights out. They've been kind of one of those like shitty anomalies this year. I'm like, why are they so bad? And I think, and you looked at it the whole first half, Julio was dog shit. He was not hitting, and now he's clicking. And that, you know, it's tough when you have the guys that are supposed to do things not do things. It really crumbles your team. And I think that's the Jays. I think they were like shipped out Teoscar hoping that there would be an elevation of their core, right?
Well, for basically Varsho. because like that was the play. You give up a few assets, get some bullpen relief in there, and then also get Varsho within that. And Varsho has been very disappointing. I mean,
No, he didn't progress. He didn't do anything better. He's actually like his stats. I think he's like
on a bit of a decline this year.
To be worse than he was in Arizona. Which is tough. So
yeah, I mean, like there's the intangibles and stuff when it comes to fielding and what have you, but like it just seems like progressively. I mean, what has improved this year has been our pitching and like insane performances from Yusei Kikuchi, Jose Barrios obviously pitching better, and then you got fucking Alek Manoah, who God knows what the fuck is going on with him.
Oh man,
I haven't seen a decline like that, and God,
dude, I actually threw a bet on him to be in the Cy Young race at the beginning of the year. Because after last year, you're like, oh yeah, definitely. That's
see ya.
I think I think like 2 or 3 games in, I was like, oh yeah,
I bought him a Noah jersey at the beginning of the year. Like how fucking bad.
Well, you have one? You actually did?
It's a fakey. It's a feezy for sure. So I didn't pay fucking $300 for that. No. It's a feezy for sure that I bought off an old regular. But you got to know a guy who knows a guy. Maybe that's why it was on sale. Yeah, I don't know. It's worrisome. Again, like you mentioned, you look at the records reflected from last year as to where they are now. I'm worried about a couple teams, man. I'm worried about a couple teams. Looking at the standings again, the Red Sox, Mariners, what have you. It's tough. Do you okay? If we're just call it right now, Jay's making the playoffs, or is this coming down to the wire and then they're just going to be on the outside looking in come October?
I think they make it, but I think they squeak it. Like I think we're going into the last 10 days of the season with like ulcers, like every game matters.
Oh yeah,
but like, I think they're gonna squeak in, but
I don't have the schedule in front of me, but like it's usually it's like a bunch of games against like New York and Baltimore, Tampa.
I think our last 3 weeks of games are all against our own division.
Usually,
and that's always the case.
Yeah. Trying to fuel up those rivalries. I think they
worst time of year for that.
They just, they just can't catastrophically a dumpster fire cannot ensue. They can't go on like more than a 2-game losing streak. But and this is another thing too. It's like that 2015, 2016 teams. Those teams went on runs. We'll piece
they were
together
500 by the All-Star break or something, right?
And we'll piece like 4 or 5 games together, and then I'll be like, okay, this is when we go on an 8-9 game run, and it never happens, and we proceed to
drop 3 or 4
after that. That's the rip your hair out moment from the fan base right now, and I think that's what's making people so bipolar and in their love for the Jays right now.
Oh man,
because it's like they just won 5 in a row, and then you go away for a weekend and you check your phone and you're like, what the fuck, they just dropped 4?
Fuck man, no kidding. If we have the option to bring back some of those players, we need like a Dalton Pompey on the bases right now. He needs to he needs to step out of retirement as a police officer now and put away one bat and bring out the other. You know what I mean?
Try and steal the bases when he doesn't have the green light for it.
Do you remember that show when he was talking? And that was another thing too. I was thinking, remember he said like Joey Bats sat them all down, like the veterans sat all the young guys down, and was like, right. What do you do? What is your job, your role here? And Pompey's like, steal bases. He's like, all right, do that.
Please don't try and swing for the fences or anything.
Yeah, know your role and do it really well.
No. Swing bases, don't listen to the skipper.
And then Donaldson's like, I'm just gonna hit jacks, Rod.
Yeah, it's like, all right, buddy, you do that.
Crush beers, hit jacks.
Oh man. Well, speaking of some of these teams that are hot right now, we actually got some bets here. DB2 Bets brought to you by BetStam. Use the BetStam app to find the best odds out there. Please follow along on the app and make sure that we are staying true to our tickets as we always are. We keep our receipts. We're going to kick things off. I'm just simply going to take the Houston Astros on the money line tomorrow as they open up their weekend series against the Mariners. Look, I don't think we're going to be able to catch the Astros. I don't think we'll be able to catch the Rays. We're definitely not catching the Orioles. So let's maintain this third spot. For the record, I do think the Jays will make the playoffs. I'm not being a pessimistic Toronto Blue Jays fan. I'm just trying to be realistic. As we have tried to bend, we've tried to be like bet with an open mind, bet with an open heart, or bet with our minds and not with our hearts here.
No homers.
No homers, but here going into this series, I mean, like I'm really rooting for the Stros, and I don't think we're going to be able to catch them. So I'd rather see the Blue Jays get any sort of help by maintaining that third spot. They're going up for a weekend series against the Mariners. I think Luis Castillo pitched on Wednesday, so he won't be getting a start that weekend as well. So, I mean, like, look, we got some pretty decent pitching matchups here. You got Bryce Miller for the Mariners up against JB France, 9-3 with a 2.74 ERA. Been pitching pretty decently up against the 7-4 Miller. Look, it's at home for the Astros. Mariners have been really hot. Like they swept they swept the Angels, and then they swept the Padres, and they fell into trouble against the Orioles, and then they just came back and swept the Royals. So they can't be playing too hot. They're going to need a bit of a reality check going into Houston. I think that's where it's going to land, and hopefully the Jays can get some help this weekend. Do you guys like this pick? Best odds are available on Pinnacle, -134. Your mic's a little wonky there.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this is also like a bet with your heart pick, I think, because the last thing you want is the Mariners to win games right now. So
Yeah, this is a bit of both right here.
Yeah.
But like it's not stupid. It's not like
no,
it's not like I'm betting on the Royals to beat them or anything like
no,
that.
no. But yeah, no, I'm about it.
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. I mean, I'll throw down $100 and try and pay for my wedding on it. at least tip the bartender, right? Next pick that we got over here, we're going Georgie boy. We were chatting about this one. White Sox and Rockies under 12.5, -115 as the White Sox head into Colorado to face the Rockies in Coors Field. Ball flies in Coors Field. That's why it's set so high at 12.5 here. But these two teams are horseshit. They are bad at pitching. They are bad at hitting. So this game could go either way. I feel like the unders hit with the Rockies a few times whenever we've placed bets with them. And I've been hitting the unders a lot this season. It seems like whenever I actually say that, I might lose a couple. But do you like this pick? Tell me why.
Yeah, I like it. There's always so much fun when you're playing on the dog shit teams. Yeah, I feel like you can get some really fun odds, especially on these games where they're like, okay, is it going to be a blowout? Is it going to be not? Sometimes it's a little bit of a roll of the dice, and you're in Coors Field, and the ball does fly.
It's 6-2 after 2 innings, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh god.
Now it's up to your bullpen, your dog shit bullpen.
Yeah, and looking at the White Sox, you got Kopech coming up, and you hope he's not going to bleed. He's got like a 4.5 ERA, but coming off of I don't know, like
we were teetering towards the over here too, but then it's just like I don't know. It's 12.5 runs. I mean, you look at the Rockies and how many, like, some of the games that they lose like 12-1, where it's just like they have the ability to give up fucking 12 runs.
This is such an uninspiring series for both teams, I'm sure. Like the determination that they both have in like winning these games, like,
or lack
the
thereof.
motivation.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I'm not in the professional mindset of like being a professional athlete, but I would probably, I would definitely go out and have a couple extra at this point of the year if my team was as bad right now. So.
Yeah, Tim Anderson's actually betting on the game. Like he's like, yeah, I'm taking the under too. Like that guy's just lost it. Oh man, yeah. I mean, let's go. Let's take the under. Best odds that we found are on DraftKings at -115. Look, it's 12.5. It could go either way, but both teams. They can't pitch and they can't hit. So, I mean, maybe we're looking at like a 3-2 win for who gives a fuck. Moving on.
Yeah, let's go. Have fun.
Our next game that we have here, we're just going to take the Orioles on the run line -1.5, and that's even odds over at Pinnacle. Look, they're facing the Oakland Athletics. Sure, they pumped the Cardinals the night before 8-0, but who gives a fuck, right? Like we got Kyle Gibson up against. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's the A's in Oakland. Sure. But it was like usually the run line should be put at like 2.5 at this point. But because it's the Orioles, I mean, they should be at 2.5. But for whatever reason, it's at -1.5. Don't know why. George, you like it?
I like it. The A's are on a hot streak. They're they've won 3 out of their last 10 games. So
Yeah, ooh,
Just on
a
fire.
blistering 3 of 10.
just
Oh,
on
man.
fire.
Yeah. So I mean, morale is high in the dugout there. So yeah, but the Orioles, man, it's crazy. I mean, I took them on the win over. I think it was set at like 78.5 or something like that this year, and they're just good. Like, it's crazy to see the O's actually like play decent baseball. They're fun too. I hate to say it, but like
Yeah.
they're like watching their studs. Like, it's just. Yeah, they're pretty.
You know, the
nasty.
whole season, everyone said, "Oh, their starting pitching is going to fall to pieces." Blah 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 blah. And we're like a month and a half left, and it still hasn't happened. And
Like, we were talking about Bradish, and then they picked up Flaherty at the deadline, and it's just like, man, this is.
And they're like Gunnar Henderson. Like, they have a group of players that have progressively gotten better over the year. They're like a better team than they were when they started the season. It's and when we play them, they obliterate us. It makes me feel so small. I'm like, holy shit. You guys, you get hype. We're like, okay, we're going into Baltimore. We're gonna keep this going, and then they just
stomp us. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like, holy.
Good luck for who, and like, man, they've taken first in the division after a Tampa team that had like a record starting.
You didn't think that Tampa would ever give up that first spot like a month into the season. It was like a lock.
Yeah. And then even with all the injuries too, and their starting pitching and everything that's happened for that team too, now they're losing like Wander Franco to that weird stuff.
Oh my
they're
God.
Still kind of going, insane. I went down the rabbit hole hard on that stuff today. Dude,
I bet.
Like, it's wild. It's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, seeing some of these headlines saying that Wander Franco being sent down to the minors so he can start dating his girlfriend again.
There's some bad stuff out there. I saw like a sabermetric stat on like.
Oh my God! Oh,
that like compared him
to
compared him to like what's the guy? What was it? Christian? No, that the guy on Pittsburgh that had all that.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just his name's like it's get away from me here. Yeah, dude. Tampa. Fuck, man. Fuck.
That's so crazy, dude.
Plus all their injuries too. Yeah, man.
Remember when we did the show with Ben Badler and he was hyping up that guy so hard.
Wander.
Yeah. He also liked you know who he also really liked? He liked Vijan. What is that? Vijan Brudal.
Oh yeah,
Tampa. He was comparing him to like Ozzy Albies.
That's
not
quite
Ozzy Albies, but
no, I wouldn't say so. He also really liked Manoah. So what does Ben really know?
Yeah. No longer a friend of the show.
No. We love that.
We love you, Ben. We love you.
Yeah, we love you, Ben. He is not listening to this episode, guaranteed. Oh man, and then we got one more pick. We got an extra little nugget for you. We got a birdie pick here, coming in hot from the WNBA. You're all over this, man. And when Toronto gets a WNBA team, you better believe that we're getting media credentials.
I can't believe we don't have a WNBA team.
It's coming, man. They're expanding.
It's gonna happen for sure.
It's gonna happen, man. It has to.
Drake will own it. It will.
Big time.
Fast.
Yeah.
It's growing real fast. So we got the Connecticut Sun here on the money line. Talk to us about it, because you know more than I do when it comes to this.
Yeah, so they're playing the Dallas Wings. The Wings are basically 500. They've been pretty much 500 all year. Kind of average. I think last time I said the Aces and the Liberty, those are like the two teams that are expected to win the title, and I would throw the Sun in there as well. They're 21-9.
Hey,
they've got a wicked team. They're just like that one like half tier under the true contenders. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think they could get by those first two teams. But in the grand scheme of things, they are easily the third best team, and they're just going against the average team. And I like the odds on this one, so I'm gonna take the money line. It's just like an easy one to toss in there.
Dude, are you playing fantasy on like WNBA this year or what?
Yeah, I am. I actually am.
I'm in first, and there's two of us. I also have the other account.
No, there's
Sign me up because I'm about
Imagine.
it. Let's go. I gotta get some knowledge going.
Let's
So
go.
obviously, like, there's way less teams and players, so there's
Mhm.
only 6 fantasy teams. But yeah, I'm second, so
All
whatever.
right, let's go.
Yeah. Slick. Well, there we have it. Connecticut Sun on the money
Uh,
line -122, and that's available over on Botano. That does it for our show, man. Go Jays, go.
Let's go.
Let's turn this around. We got a big series coming up in Cincinnati. It's a fun little series. I'd love to go down to Cincy for that too. But for Josh, Elijah, Birdman, and Georgie Boy, thank you so much for jumping on the show. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We love you, Jimmy. Can't wait to see you in a week. And thank you guys for tuning in here. Gonna be signing off for next week. We'll tell you how the wedding went down and all that good shit, all the good vibes and cottage vibes and all that stuff. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that goody stuff. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.
Yeah. See you on the east side, boys.
See ya. Peace.
Let's go.